¿Qué pasa, you wonderful people? It is I, Nima. I'm back after a little bit of a break that I didn't mean to take, but I had to. So I've got about 4 games coming out back to back to back to back. And today, I want to start with a game called Delivery from the Pain, which is a very interesting game. Like, we've gotten a ton of these third-person drop-down zombie action-adventure games recently, and this is another one in that line. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and if you're a repeat customer, please hit that like button, hit the bell, all that YouTube stuff. I gotta do it, but I really do appreciate you guys for doing everything that you have been. So anyway, though, back to Delivery from the Pain. Like I said, we've gotten quite a few of these kind of zombie adventure games recently, starting with Dismantle, which was a great game. And it kind of takes place in this, like, zombific utopia? Is zombific a word? I don't know, but I think we should make it a word. You know, like, oh, your skin is looking absolutely zombific. You should probably go to a doctor. But that game is great. Like, you're in this gigantic, lush world. It is huge. When I did the review, I thought I was getting close to beating the game, and I was wrong, because I am still playing that game from time to time now, and still exploring and finding a lot of new stuff. So, that game, gigantic, great game. Then we had Deadcraft that came out not too long ago, which was sort of like, I don't know, it's one of those games where everything is reliant on time and crafting, and it's like if you would take the worst parts of Borderlands and the worst parts of like a survival crafting game, and you kind of throw in like some zombies. It's an okay game. I don't love it, but it was fun enough. So I thought Delivery from the Pain would be pretty awesome. Like, they've done decent enough. And this game I picked up for under $10. I think it was around $7 or $8. It's their introductory price and whatever. And in this game, you have 2 options of characters to start from. So that's a good start. You know, like, I like to have choices. I like to have options. And you can start as a 38-year-old ex-cop or a 26-year-old insurance saleswoman, I think. But the thing with the cop is he's stronger, he's bigger, he's a little bit louder, and he takes more sleep and more food to satisfy him. As where with the woman, she's more silent. She doesn't have the strength, though, so melee combat isn't as, I don't know, is good. And she doesn't require as much food or water. None of that matters, and I will get to why none of that matters here in a little bit. So this game starts off as, it's super campy, which is kind of okay, especially with like a horror game. In fact, that can be kind of fun. Maybe it's not something I would spend my time doing, but I spend a lot of my time reviewing video games, so yeah, actually spending more time on a campy game is not something I would do. But again, I can't really hate it for that. I'm not going to downgrade it on that. For one, it starts off by the year 2017 was zombies overran Jonestown. It's like, oh yeah? 2017, huh? The zombies? I must have missed it. Like, that doesn't help. Like, that doesn't help immerse you into this game. Like, it takes it away a little bit when you can almost laugh about a time that happened 5 years ago and nothing happened. But it gets even worse than that because the writing is, it's not good, guys. Like, and the thing is it's trying to be serious, and it's not. Like, it's so matter of fact, you know, like, if you could put robots in a room and have them talk, it would be the same interactions. In fact, maybe the robots actually might have something a little more interesting to say. It really isn't good. The writing's not good, but that's fine. Like, a lot of these games don't rely on that. Like, we can go back to Resident Evil 1, and there was no awards won for, you know, writing in that game. But the action and the gameplay and all of that is where this game should live and breathe. But here's the thing, like, it's not a game that is on rails, right? You have your main objectives like you do in all of these games, where you have to go out, you have to explore, you have to get to a certain point so that you can be rescued. But to get to that point, you're going to have to build stuff, so you're going to have to find things, you're going to have to craft, you're going to have to survive, you're going to have to make weapons, you're going to have to probably trade and save people and beat big enemies and blah, 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 right? And the graphics of this game actually look pretty good, so all of that kind of could be a lot of fun. And I still think there is a little bit there, but let's say this. For one, there's no outdoors. This game looks like there would be, because there's multiple locations you can go to, but it's like a fast travel. Like, there's literally no outdoor. Like, there's no outside. And once the time hits about, like, I think it's 6 p.m., like, you'll just be, like, exploring, and all of a sudden zombies will just enclose on you, and it's like an animated scene. You can't do anything. You're overran, and you're dead. There's no fighting them. They just kill you. So, the fact that you can't traverse, like, the land and truly explore kind of sucks. The fact that you can't stay out past a certain time makes me feel like I still live with my mom. Like, there's all of these aspects of it that really hinder and limit it. And I think it's supposed to make it like so it's more difficult, and it's supposed to give you this whole, I don't know, idea of fear. But if I'm being honest, it just really comes off as limiting and not very fun, especially when you compare it to everything else that is out right now and all the other action adventure, zombie survival, crafting games that are out there. I would argue this one's way worse than Deadcraft, and I don't even think Deadcraft was that great. Like, Dismantle for the win, by the way. I'm just saying, like, all these things combined, like, I think the graphics look really pretty. And I've said that before. I do think the game loop in itself of going out, fast traveling to an unspecified structure, and they don't really tell you what it is unless you found it, and exploring and basically getting the same stuff you need for survival. Like, that's the other thing. Like, nothing is really, you can go hours and hours and this game just kind of repeats itself. That same loop, same stuff you're finding, same zombies. But I could see where some people might enjoy that, but the fact is you never actually run into any enemies that are very difficult. They're all pretty simple, and that's why I was saying before, it doesn't really matter which character you pick. Like, at the beginning of this game, they kind of prioritize, like, stealth, and, you need to be careful, but really, you can just run through them and just beat them to death with a baseball bat or whatever you have lying around. They're not tough at all. And so, not only is, like, a lot of the decisions that you can make, which are limited, don't really matter. Also, the gameplay loop is pretty stagnant, and there's not a lot there after that. Now, I will say it was really interesting because this game does also come out, like, with a DLC. Like, there's a DLC included in the game, which I think is kind of weird, because it's like, well, if you had a DLC before the game launched, wouldn't you just put it in the regular game? Like, what is that about? I have no idea, honestly. I haven't checked it out. I probably should, but I kind of didn't want to, because I didn't want to ruin something. I didn't know if there was anything like a prerequisite to it, and there is like a nightmare mode, which I'm sure like that would amp up the difficulty, but the difficulty doesn't really matter as much as, I don't know, like, again, there is a lot here, right? There's the crafting aspect, there's the zombies, it's a pretty game. If you don't like, exploring and traversing, and you'd rather just go from point A to point B, kind of like this War of Mine, it definitely has like that aspect to it where you just go out, and you end up in the structure that you're at, then you dig around, you find what you need, and you come back. And if you like that, that's awesome. The thing is, with comparing it to like this War of Mine had like this deep story and great writing, characters, depth, a lot of stuff that this game doesn't. And so it's very bleh. I don't know. It's fine. And I wouldn't hate anyone for saying, oh yeah, I picked it up for like $7 or even $10 and I'm having a decent amount of time with it. Like, yeah, that's fair enough. I think you would. I think you'd have an okay time for $10. It's definitely not worth any more than that. And it's a game like, if you enjoy this style of games, I would definitely say put it like on a wish list or a watch list or whatever you want to call it so you can see when it goes on sale. But if I'm being honest, if you don't even really like these style of games and you only have like, I don't know, enough room in your library for like a couple of them, I wouldn't make this one a priority. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I'm really curious what you guys think about it. If you've even heard of Delivery from the Pain, which has a weird name, by the way. I keep wanting to say The Delivery from Pain, but it's Delivery from the Pain. I'm curious about what other games you guys are playing. Are you guys picking up Mario Strikers? I want to do something with you guys, the community. I've got Mario Strikers. I've been playing it a lot. So if you are on there and you're interested in like teaming up or forming a football club, like let me know. Like that would be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you in probably about 20 hours because, like I said, another video is coming out back to back to back to back. Anyway, take care, you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.